Chapter 3 Mercedes. Danglars and Caderousse sat at a table under a tree. In a house about 100 meters away, a young girl was at the window. Her hair was as black as night, and her eyes were as dark and wonderful as the shadow of a forest. "Mercedes!" a voice shouted happily outside the house. "Mercedes!" "Ah!" cried the girl, and she ran to the door and opened it. "Here, Edmond, here I am." Edmond took Mercedes in his arms. The golden sunshine of Marseille shone on them. They were together, the only two people in the world. Edmond and Mercedes walked past La Réserve. Caderousse and Danglars were still there. "Hey, Edmond!" cried Caderousse. He got up from his seat. "Are you too proud to speak to your friends?" "No, my dear man," Dantès replied. "I am not proud, but I am happy. I was thinking about Mercedes." "When is the wedding?" asked Danglars. "Soon. Tomorrow or the next day, here at La Réserve. We hope that you and Caderousse will be there." "Tomorrow or the next day. You are in a hurry, Captain," said Danglars. "I am not a captain yet, Danglars," said Dantès. "But yes, we are in a hurry, because I must go to Paris." "To Paris? Do you have business there?" "It is not my business. Captain Leclerc asked me to finish some work for him." Yes, I understand," said Danglars. And he added, speaking to himself, "To Paris. He is taking Marshal Bertrand's letter there. Ah, I have an idea. Dantès, my friend, you are not captain of the Pharaoh yet." He turned towards Edmond. "A good journey," he cried. "Thank you, my friend," said Edmond. And the two lovers continued on their happy path. "Boy," shouted Danglars, "bring me a pen and paper." "It is a strange thought," said Caderousse. "You can kill a man with a knife, but you can also kill him with that pen." "I will tell you what I am going to do," said Danglars. "Dantès has just returned from a journey. He stopped at the island of Elba. We are going to send a letter to an officer of the government. We will write that Dantès is working for Napoleon. He wants to bring Napoleon back as ruler of France." Danglars wrote, using his left hand. "A friend of the king has information for the king's officers. Edmond Dantès of the ship Pharaoh brought a letter from Elba to the followers of Napoleon in Paris. You will find the letter in his coat, or at his father's house, or in his room on the ship." He put the letter in an envelope and wrote a name on it, Villefort. "So, I have done it," Danglars said. "Yes, you have done it," said Caderousse. "But it is a dirty piece of work." He put out his hand to take the letter. The cooks at La Réserve prepared a wonderful meal for the wedding. Many of the men from the Pharaoh were there, and other friends of Dantès. "Shall we start?" asked the sweet, silvery voice of Mercedes. "We must go to the church." Everyone in the party stood up and began to form a line. Suddenly there was a loud noise. A man knocked on the door and shouted, "Open this door, in the name of the law!" An officer came in. There were 4 soldiers with him. "Where is Edmond Dantes?" "That is my name," said Edmond. "Why?" "I can't tell you. Someone will tell you the reason later." "Don't be afraid, my good friend," said Dantes. "They are making a mistake. That is all, I'm sure." Dantes went into the courtyard with the soldiers. "God go with you, my dearest," cried Mercedes. "And with you, sweet Mercedes. We shall soon meet again." Chapter 4. The Judge. Villefort, the judge, took a paper from one of the men. He said, "Bring in the prisoner." Dantes came into the room. "Who and what are you?" Villefort asked. "My name is Edmond Dantes," the young man replied. "I am an officer of the Pharaoh, one of Morel's ships." "Your age?" 20. "Where were you when the soldiers came?" "I was at my wedding." Dante's voice was full of tears. Earlier in the day he was so happy, and now... It is sad that this man missed his wedding, thought Villefort. But he continued, "Do you work for Napoleon?" "I wanted to join one of his ships, but he lost power." "People think that you are a dangerous man. They say you want to bring Napoleon back to power." "Me? Dangerous? I am only 20. I don't know about things like power. I love my father, I love Morel, and most of all, I love Mercedes. That is all that I can tell you." "Have you any enemies?" "Enemies?" said Dantes. "Only important men have enemies. I am not important." "True, you are only 20, Villefort said. "But you will soon be captain of a ship. You are marrying a pretty girl. Does someone hate you because you are so lucky?" "Perhaps. I don't know. You know men better than I do." "I received this letter. Do you know the writing?" Dantes read it. A cloud of sadness passed over his face. "No, I don't know the writing. But the writer of this letter is a real enemy." "Now," said the judge, "answer me. Are the words in this letter true?" "No," Dantes replied. "I will tell you the facts. Captain Leclerc became ill soon after we left Naples. On the 3rd day he was very ill. He called to me and said, 'Promise me something. It is very important.' I promised. 'After my death you will become captain. Go to Elba and ask for Marshal Bertrand. Give him this letter, and he will give you another letter. He will tell you where to take it.' That is what Captain Leclerc said." "And what did you do then?" the judge asked. "I agreed. Leclerc was dying. On a ship, the last request of an officer is an order. I reached Elba, and I went on shore alone. I gave the letter to Marshal Bertrand. He gave me a letter to take to a person in Paris. I came here, visited Mercedes, and prepared for my wedding. I am going to Paris tomorrow. "Ah," said Villefort, "perhaps you were unwise, but you followed the last orders of your captain. Give me the letter that you brought from Elba. Promise to see me again if I call you. You can go back to your friends now." "I am free, then?" said Dantès happily. "Yes, but first give me the letter." "You have it already. The soldiers took it with some other letters. They are on the table." "Stop," said Villefort, as Dantès took his hat. "Whose name and address are on the letter?" "Noirtier, Heron Road, Paris." Villefort's face went white, and he looked afraid. "Noirtier," he said in a weak voice. "Noirtier?" "Yes. Do you know him?" "No," replied Villefort. "I am a true follower of the king. I don't know men who want to destroy him." "Noirtier wants to destroy the king?" Dantès began to feel afraid. "I told you. I didn't read the letter. I don't know what it says." "Yes, but you saw the name on the envelope." "Of course I read the name. I had to give it to Noirtier." "Did you show this letter to anyone?" asked Villefort. "No, I didn't show it to anyone, I promise you." Dantès looked at Villefort's face and was afraid. Villefort read the letter. Then he covered his face with his hands. "Oh," the judge thought, "does he know what is in this letter? Does he know my real name? Does he know that Noirtier is my father? If he knows this, then I am in danger." He looked closely at Dantès. Then he said, "You cannot leave now. You must stay here for some time. I will try to make your stay as short as possible. The only thing against you is this letter." He took the letter from the table and went to the fire. "Look, I am burning it." "Oh," cried Dantès, "you are very kind." "Listen," said Villefort. "You know that I will help you. You will stay here until this evening. Don't answer any questions. Don't say a word about this letter. And don't say the name of Noirtier." "I promise." Villefort called out, and a soldier came into the room. "Follow this soldier," Villefort told Dantès. The door closed, and Villefort fell into a chair. "Oh, my father! If people hear about this letter, it will be the end for me. I must make sure that nobody knows about it."